stream versus record. Okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
Right.
Okay. Good evening. Welcome, Paula.
I'm doing one other thing. I'm going to show captions. And
okay, I can see it.
So that means if anybody wants to click on the more button, you may be able to view the live transcript if you want to. Okay.
You'll be able to, the live caption?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. Now, I mean, again, we haven't officially started, but just so you know, the computer doesn't necessarily hear the words you really said.
Right.
So reading the transcript can be quite amusing, but it is also a good way to, in effect, take minutes for this meeting. So
yeah, that would be good.
You want to call the meeting to order, and I can share the agenda.
I sure can. We will call the meeting to order at this moment. We were waiting for a few more sign-ons and still waiting because I've communicated with others and I don't know if they're running behind schedule or they saw 7 somewhere as well. So let's see. Let me.
Okay, so can people see the agenda on the screen?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And
yes.
I will read the first item aloud. This is the last time you will hear this speech at this meeting. Number 1, determination to continue to hold meetings virtually. The Board of Neighborhood Commissioners of the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, with guidance from the Los Angeles City Attorney, have established that the board has the authority to adopt AB 361 findings pursuant to Government Code Section 54953E 1B through C on behalf of the city's neighborhood councils, and to determine that due to the COVID-19 state of emergency, meeting in person would present imminent risk to the health or safety of attendees. This meeting is being conducted virtually pursuant to that directive. And later in this meeting, we'll discuss what happens starting March 1st or thereafter. Turning it back to you, Tori, to go review the agenda. That'd be item 2. Welcome, call to order and review the agenda, if you would like. Do we have Tori? Tori, you're muted.
Look, I'm talking away. I said we just called the meeting to order at 6:40, and I welcomed everyone as they come along. And we can peruse the agenda really quickly, see if we see anything out of order.
Well, I would suggest that if we get through public comments and our guest speaker hasn't arrived, that we move on to item 5 and then go back to item 4.
Yeah, I was going to look at that in relation to number 1. But there's one thing I did want to bring your attention to down for the telecommunication numbers. You see where it says 800 29, was it 290 2929? It has a 1 there. I don't know if it's supposed to be 2921 right there.
Good point. I don't know either.
Yeah, the 800-735-2921.
Because if you look right below that,
right,
2922.
Right.
Except
yeah.
Doesn't really help, but we'll watch for future agendas.
Right. So yeah, I just wanted to make a clarification of that, just in case anyone has to use it. Okay. Uh-oh.
Okay. So we're back to.
Okay. So any general public comments? Paula, Corrine, give us updates of what's been happening since we met in the last month.
Paula's walked out of the screen.
Nothing in my end.
Well, didn't you come to the homeless count?
I did.
And was that your first time?
No, that was my second year.
Second. Okay.
And then I think this is a really great coincidence, Miss Tori. I think I know the person that you know who donated the blankets. Mr.
Really?
Perry.
Okay.
Was it I know him. He said he donated to you, and we started talking. It's like we know. It's like I know Miss Tori too. So it was just funny because we work together.
Well, he must have been one of the ones because that's not who bought them to me. So
Oh,
I guess I have an anonymous donor. I don't know. I think it was a collective of people
I
who
got it.
pitched
Okay,
in and bought them. But I've been giving them out because it's gonna rain really hard. And matter of fact, it hailed today.
that's what I heard.
I was sitting in the car. If I didn't see it with my own eyes, I'd have to wonder. Yeah.
Um,
So you have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about public comment. Give us an update of how you experienced that evening, or
I enjoyed it. I participated twice this year, one and the Wednesday at the West Side near Main Street in Venice, and
Mhm.
then the one right here that we did at West Adams. Both were different, but it was interesting because, yeah, we expected to see more people out on the streets where normally you see them during the daytime, but there was less count. But we did notice a lot on the west side. We noticed a lot of campers and vans, so that, people were, staying in. However, it was both were great experiences to be part of it. And the group of friends that I brought, they want to do it the following year. So it was a
Oh,
great experience.
oh,
Mhm.
that's good. That's good news because we
Yeah.
was concerned about holding it outside. This is the first time I held it outside, at our same location. Because last year was a little sketchy, but
Right.
but
Because of the
but I
rain.
thought it went well. It went well.
It did.
Tom, thank you, Green.
Hi, Miss Tori.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. We had a good experience too at the count.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I met on our team was a young guy who's a sociologist and
Oh,
lives and works in the neighborhood, and he's given us some insight into the homelessness that he sees in the neighborhood and in the city. He works for the city,
okay. Okay.
yeah, for mental health.
Oh, okay. So you were
Yeah,
able to meet some new people.
yeah. But I wanted to formally introduce myself now. Somewhat.
Is the waiting period over, Tom?
I'm sorry?
Is the waiting period over?
Is there a waiting period? I'm not aware of a
Oh,
waiting
never
period.
mind. I'm speaking in,
Laura, are you addressing the meeting or are you talking to someone else?
I'm talking to Tom, but I will be quiet now because I think it's too premature for what I'm about to say. So I'm not saying it. Go ahead, Tom.
Oh, okay. Later in the meeting, huh?
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I couldn't understand you at first, but I can understand you now.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Paula. I don't believe we've met, but I know that you're the president.
Bye, VP.
VP. Okay. Excuse me. But my name is Tom Huang. I work for I have an artist agency and I represent an artist by the name of Brian Peterson, who used to live in Orange County but moved last year to Florida.
Okay.
And
Welcome.
he is most well known for befriending people experiencing homelessness and painting their portraits. And then selling the work and giving some of the proceeds to help that person.
Oh,
With
wonderful.
their dreams, with any needs that they have, but he sets up an account for them to help them out. And he's more recently has been painting murals. And as of last week, the city of Los Angeles has announced that Brian has been awarded a mural. It's because Brian and me actually have been awarded a mural at 1819, the Council District 10 office on Western Avenue.
Oh,
Yeah, I believe that's where you used to hold meetings.
used to,
Yeah, and maybe will starting next month.
That's what I was gonna say. We're gonna talk about that next after public
But
comment.
no.
Yeah. Oh, I don't mean to get ahead.
Answering no.
Yeah, no, we're meeting at Gramercy Place.
At what?
Oh,
At what?
okay. But we are, both Brian and I, Brian couldn't make it tonight, but
Okay.
we are both excited about the project and really wanting to work with the UNNC on this project. So we're
Oh,
now
that would be wonderful.
identifying ourselves and saying hello.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. But I want to be able to see some of the work that you have displayed for, the homeless.
Sure,
Okay.
I could put that into the chat.
Yeah, whenever you let us know, we'll be available.
Yeah, so the contracting period with the city will take some time. I think they told us like 2 to 3 months before we can see something at the earliest. So we likely won't be working on the mural until the second half of the year at the earliest. But in the meantime, we'd love to build relationships and get your input on the mural. Thanks, Ms. Tori, for coming to the community meeting and giving your feedback.
Oh, no worries. Thanks for inviting me. I'm looking forward to seeing the work. Maybe we can get you to display that work one day soon at a small house gallery in Beverly Hills.
Oh,
You never know.
never know.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Keep us posted. Okay, Paula. Is Paula still here? Yeah. Paula?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I was wondering if I had lost you. You want to give them an update about we were able to get hand sanitizer and everything?
Oh, no, you do. All I did was tell you about it, but you can say how much you got or whatever. I don't have that information.
Oh,
I can
well.
tell them that we are at West Angeles. We have we have more than 2 sites, but we have our offices at 3045 Crenshaw, and then we built the cathedral at 3600 Crenshaw. And we are in the process of building offices behind the cathedral building. So we will all be in one. And
you're freezing.
Getting rid of all kind of stuff. So we had pallets of hand sanitizer, and we gave it out to the community, to churches, to anyone who wanted it. And I called Tori, and Tori, take it away.
Well, I called people as well because they were really trying to get rid of it. And once I arrived, I knew the people who was in charge of the distribution. And so we were able to get a lot of the cases that we used at the homeless count for sanitizing hands before we ate our chili and soup.
Oh, right.
So, yeah, so they had a good time, and I had to feed them before we went out so they could have some energy to get the job done.
Yes.
Yes, it was really, really fun. Councilwoman Heather Hutt attended, and as well as the homeless representative and Eric Aguiar. They all were in attendance full-fledged, and Mayor Bath's office sent over about 8 people.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so we had them coming. So we were able to get 100% of the maps done. And
is that a first?
No, we do that every time. That's a given.
That's I know last time it just seemed like there was so much to do. Well, that's great. The last time I participated.
We did have more last year. We had 55 last time and we have 49 this time. Not a major difference, but we got it all done. But this year is the first time somebody actually took a map home.
Oh, that's right.
And it's a good thing that I put my number on it because the person was able to call me.
Oh,
and
good.
then she brought it over to the church on Sunday. So that worked out.
Woo,
I mean,
good.
well, this was a first. I don't even know what made that happen, but it happens. Things happen. when you have that many people, you know.
Yeah.
And so we had some new people this year as well as returning. And
Good.
it was a bit different when we did the tallying and everything because Lhasa sent over, oh gosh, I don't know, it was about 3 people trying to tally using a machine that they really hadn't used before. And even when that map was missing and we called the people,
Oh,
I said, now I know, I looked at the names and I said, I know they told me good night, yet the app was still showing movement. So
oh,
yeah. So I was like, well, they must be moving around in their house, but
yeah.
there was no indication that they were not still out in the field, other than me saying good night to some of the people on the team, and I know they went as a team. So
Mm.
that was my indication to say I think everyone's gone home.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, it was. But good thing we had a tracking mechanism, double check mechanism, know whose team is on who, what, when, where, how, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I really like to make sure I check everybody in first. It may take a minute, but the process is efficient. And so that's why, because when you have stragglers, you don't want to leave them out there all alone, you know. So it was overall, it was good. It was almost better than I expected being outside under the tent because it wasn't cold and we had the
Oh.
heat.
Like it is now.
Right. We had the heat lamps, but still it wasn't bone chilling cold as it is now. Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah. Bone chilling cold. That's a good description.
Yeah. It's colder than usual. But anyway, I don't know where everyone is, but we're gonna continue. Any other public comment?
Yes, sorry, I raised my hand.
Oh, okay. Let me move over. I see it now, Laura. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, 2 things. Well, I have to be quiet for a second. No, I can't. I can't lower my hand because I have the darn transcript on top of the hand. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
I would love to suggest, if it is at all possible, when you get the food for these for the homeless count,
Mhm.
I mean, the chili was great. I had it the next day. You know, it's something you actually had to sit down at a table and eat. But
Right.
I've learned over the years of the different kind of event, which is a progressive dinner kind of event, that if you make pureed soup, whether it's tomato or butternut squash or pumpkin soup, anything but pureed, you can actually serve it in a drinking cup with a lid, and you can take it with you. So it would be right.
That's
So
a good
people
idea.
could have some warm soup with them while they're out on the road, as it were. So if you could just consider that, because otherwise I thought the whole thing was perfect. Of course, I did not go out with a group because I just couldn't. No, I just couldn't. But I thought the setup this year, with the tent, it was just perfect. And I think that's a really good idea, even if we don't have COVID.
Okay. Yeah, it was actually fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
And we had space, to get the food out the window and everything. One thing I was thinking about your pureed ideal. There's a possibility, but then I didn't want people getting in other people's cars with it, potentially spilling it. And one was supposed to be driving, one is supposed to be counting, and one's supposed to be writing. So,
I'm just saying it's an alternative.
I think about that though.
Or hot chocolate, but that could be even messier. I'm just saying. And then the other thing I wanted to say is, because it was confusing earlier in this meeting, just before Tom was speaking, what I was trying to find out is the grant of the mural contract, is it public yet? Apparently it is. And I do want to congratulate him. I was selected to serve on the panel that was selecting the muralist. So it was a really interesting process. And I did go to the public meeting that you were at, Tori, but I didn't say anything because it was part of what my job was to hear what the community said. So it was a very interesting process. And I'm very pleased that the part of what Brian Peterson, the artist, did was actually interview real people who are in that
good.
neck of the woods and then do portraits. So it was like, good. I'm not going to say anything more. I'm not evaluating the art so much as the content, but it was, I think it's going to be a good match for our community. And that's it.
That's
my
good.
general public comment.
Oh, that's a good comment. Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. Oh my goodness.
Tom put Brian's, I guess, website in
right.
chat.
Yes, yes.
That's what I was looking at. Yes.
You'll see the initial design on the website, but we actually we need to work on it more. The DC only gave us, we had a very limited amount of time to put that together for the proposal. So we want to spend more time. We're going to be interviewing more people actually, and up the quality of the work.
So are you interviewing? Are you interviewing people within our footprint, or are you interviewing where?
I would like to, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I
have a couple of people too that they would mind doing it also. So how many do you need?
I think we have maybe one or two of the people on the design are real people. I think in your district.
Okay.
Well, one was the Asian lady who lives. I guess.
We did talk to her, but she didn't want to be on the mural. I know, that's what
no. Okay, I'm thinking about the guy at the library, at the library. Yeah, because it
was interesting, Tori, because I actually recognized some of the faces in their proposal. So so they were talking to people who live along the street or but the public space right around the council office, which is of course right around my house. So I actually recognized one or two of the people. So, but I also knew that one of those people is someone who wouldn't. I mean, I was surprised that she talked to them at all. So.
Well, at some point you get tired of not talking. So I would think there's time for them to talk when it gets this cold outside. They want some help now. So you never know what will make a person, talk, or what will inspire them to do something different. You never know until you talk to them. But I would like the gentleman at the library would be a good person because he's pretty much a fixture. And boy, does he have some stories to tell. So I still have to get back.
The Jefferson Library?
Washington
Irving Library.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that the young man who's half toothless? Or is that someone?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, because I've been, taking different food and stuff to different people all the way from our area to Culver City. So, well, they've been very grateful, but still it's time to get out.
There's a young man who was there, who was a little boy who used to live across the street from me. I mean, he's not a little boy anymore. And I haven't seen him in a while, so that's why I'm wondering. But it doesn't sound like this.
No, he's an older gentleman.
Got it.
And so I had to get back over there because he said he sees Herb every day. And I said, okay. Yeah. So he said,
Herb jogs from Wellington Square, we're digressing, from Wellington Square to the Planet Fitness.
Right. So he said he was telling him that I would put him in the paper and all this. And I said, oh my goodness. So I said, I guess I better get over there and get his story on recorder. But anyway.
I guess as your Zoom host, I should point out that we should move on into the meeting. Sorry.
Well, I was going to ask you to go ahead and talk about number 5.
Okay. So I don't know that I need to put this back up on the screen, but UNNC, item 5 is that UNNC returns to in-person meetings now in theory in March. There may be some wiggle room where we don't have to for another couple of weeks, but at the moment we are planning to return to in-person but Zoom hybrid meetings starting March 1. And this is because the governor has declared an end to the COVID emergency. So UNNC has opted for a hybrid model where, in terms of board meetings, because that's the legislative body, it will be a majority of the board, a quorum of the board will have to be in one place. That's at least 13 people, in other words. And we're planning to meet at the Gramercy Apartments in their meeting community room. And that's the official address is 1856 South Gramercy Place, but South Wilton Place, but it's the building on the north side of Washington between Gramercy and Wilton Place. The committees are scheduled, we're having a little issue, but right now the committees are scheduled to be meeting at the South Seas House. So what that actually means is we have the technology to have what they call hybrid Zoom. We have a computer, a device that's called an OWL, I don't know why, but it's an AI robot generated device with a camera. It's connected to Zoom. And essentially the people in the room who are participating in the meeting, this camera moves towards their voices. So for those who are at home participating in Zoom, it'll look just like this. There'll be a person in the square block in a screen. If there starts to be a discussion between 2 or 3 people, the camera pulls back and you'll see the 3 of them in the room. So, I mean, it's really interesting. For our committees, since we only appoint the chair or the chair and co-chair, that constitutes the quorum. And so it may be that the only people at South Seas House would be the chair and I, at the moment, either Teresa or myself, to make sure the technology goes with. So there'll be a technology helper and the chair, or if there's 2 co-chairs, both of them. We're trying to figure out if there is a way, if the chair is ill, if we can still call the meeting if the chair can't be at South Seas House. So we're still working out some kinks, but the technology is amazing. And we can continue to have the remote participation from the community, and even people who are regular committee attendees do not need to be present because they're not actually appointed officially to our committee. So this should work out fine. We're trying to now work out the kinks with the South Seas House and the Recreation and Parks Department itself, because we need so many guys trying to work out the kinks of getting staffing for the house. So stay tuned on that. What does happen for this committee and also our outreach committee, the 2 different committees, is that we have changed your meeting nights. So Homelessness Liaison will stay on Thursdays, but it will be the 3rd Thursday of each month rather than the 4th. And that's not that much of a change because probably a third of the meetings of this committee already are on the 3rd Thursday instead of the 4th, because we have Christmas Day and Thanksgiving, and the homeless count. So there's a lot of conflict anyway. But this committee will meet starting about 6:30 and ending by 8. And assuming the communications committee calls its meeting, which is on the same night, they will be from 8 till 9. And and if they're not meeting, homelessness could drift, because we'll have the room in theory from 6 till 9, but we don't really want to start our committee meetings at 6 if we can help it. And then 2nd Thursday we'll stay environmental committee, but we're adding outreach, so that again outreach would meet at 6:30 and environmental meets at 8, so we can reduce the number of evenings at the South Seas House. So that's everything can still change. There is there's an effort at the Sacramento, at the state legislature, to do a motion or new legislation amending the Brown Act again to exempt appointed commissions, boards, and elected neighborhood councils from this requirement that they must have quorum in person to meet. So,
Oh, really?
but that's not going to happen by March 1st. And that
No.
it may not happen at all. So not exempting city councils, not exempting Senate committees, right? But exempting, right now the language says appointed commissions and boards. So that doesn't help neighborhood councils. The state senator who put this motion in did not realize that neighborhood councils in Los Angeles are elected and not appointed. So
Right.
he's amending his amendment thing. So, but it may not pass. And then the city attorney here in Los Angeles also seems to thinks she has found, she or he, because I don't know if it's the city attorney, found a loophole that might exempt neighborhood council. So some of this is in flux, but in the meantime, UNNC is preparing for hybrid meetings either way. So I think for us, the part that's in flux is just what does it mean to have a quorum of a board?
Right.
So that's my report on this item 5. If anyone has any questions.
Well, I do, because a quorum should be counted either, well, both hybrid and in person collectively.
Well, that's not right now, not what the law says. So that's what I'm saying. They're saying the quorum of the board must be in person. And
Yeah,
then,
no, but is that how, are we gonna adhere to that in March, or will it be able to use both?
like, for example, Tori, you're the only person needed at this meeting. You're
Right. Right.
So it's only the governing board, and Paula's probably better able to address that than me as a member of the, executive committee. But I'm pretty sure our plan is that we're meeting in person on March 2nd at Gramercy, and at least 13 of us have to be there.
Right. Wow. That's gonna be upheld, huh, Paula?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She's on mute.
I'm sorry, I had myself on mute. Yes, governing board, at least March, is going to be in person.
Oh, period.
Until they get this work, unless something changes between now and then, as we just got about a week.
Right.
Laura, I had a question. On the second Thursdays, you said outreach was meeting, and who else?
Environmental committee meets on the second Thursday from 8 till 9. They currently meet then, and they still will meet.
I still didn't understand what meeting you said. What group?
Outreach and environmental.
Oh, environmental. Okay.
Right. So if the chair has to be in person in March, the environmental committee is canceled because Elizabeth will be in Kansas. So that's why this is a little sticky the way these rules are, because she won't be able to be in the South Beach house in March. So, we're trying to figure all of this out. There's a lot of things still to figure out.
Wow. Okay. Well, interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll just make it work for March, and that'll be a good a mock trial, so to speak, to see how that's gonna work out. But I'm sure
by the time we get
you're frozen, Paula.
down to the third Thursday, we'll see.
Oh, that's for sure.
Where we are.
Well, I'm a little puzzled about tonight. I don't know if I had to try to link like 3 times.
But yeah, for sure the gap.
Yeah, well, great. You won't ever have to do that again. You just have to find a parking space near the South Seas house on the third Thursday by 6:30.
Exactly.
So,
that would be
there you
fine
go.
with me. That would be fine with me. But interesting enough, since they're not here yet, I'm gonna go ahead and briefly actually we're gonna look at the agenda and talk about circles. I was on a call where the mayor's office had reached out to me to be a participatory body of one of two meetings that they held regarding a new program called Circles, which is a crisis and intervention program that they're trying to implement in conjunction with Urban Alchemy, who has a lot of resources, and they're part of the ones cleaning up the streets. And I really want to get more detail about that, because what does that mean? Does that mean they're cleaning and putting the items in the storage? Does that mean that their medication and everything that's necessary for them to have, that they maintain and have? So when Kenan gets back from his bereavement, um, and he just left today. He's back on the road as we speak. So he's going to come next month and give us full detail about that. Now they're like in a type of partnership with the Circles program that is a staff position at through the mayor's office, put it like that. And Shannon Pryor is that representative for that particular position. So now what happened to Shannon, I don't know, but I'll find out tomorrow and have to, you know, try to repeat in March and make sure they
And
come
Shannon is with
with the mayor's office with
mayor's
the new
office?
with a new program called
Okay.
Circles. It's on the agenda in
Okay.
full in detail. And so
Okay.
I guess they're trying to get more people to assist with this project. And I know they asked for a couple of outreach people. So I have a couple of people in mind, you know, but there are certain criteria that the people have to have. Primarily, you can't be afraid to do outreach, you know, because a
Yeah.
lot of people have a tendency to be fearful.
Yes.
And people can sense when you're afraid of something, you know.
Mm.
And so, like Laura said, that the lady doesn't normally speak or talk, but see, obviously she felt comfortable. If you feel comfortable, more than likely they're you can bring the spirit, you know, down, and they're comfortable as well. But
Mm-hmm.
right, but if you're agitated and nervous and afraid to talk to people, then it's not going to work very well. So I have a couple of people who are definitely not afraid to go out into the field and do outreach. So I'm gonna recommend them after we hear more about the program. Unless they have an urgency, then I'll give them, you know, their number so they can help.
Wonderful.
And
Do
yesterday,
you know, does it, I'm sorry, I don't have an agenda in front of me. Does it break down what Circle stands for?
Yes,
yes,
do you want
yes,
me
it
to read
does.
it out loud?
Yes, go ahead, Laura.
It's crisis and incident response through community-led engagement.
Right.
All right.
What it's supposed to be is diverting some 911 calls away from law enforcement and to instead another group to come out on calls related to homelessness.
Right.
People with badges, essentially. So they train individuals, and I'm reading from the press release from 2 years ago, to engage, assess, de-escalate, and provide support for the individual.
Right. Right.
And what was the last word? Crisis and incident response through community-led
engagement.
Engagement. Okay. Okay.
And so it's going to be for calls like a homeless individual might be under the influence of alcohol or drugs, who's wandering around the streets without clothing, which happens apparently a lot, causing noise, loitering, you know, of those kinds of complaints.
Yeah.
Well, I've definitely come across all of those. I mean, I got a call from the young lady that was taking a bath in the pond in the park in front of children. So I had to go talk to her a couple of times, and that's been wow, at least 3 years ago. So I guess she got better because I stopped getting the complaints. And so the last time I saw her, she was doing better. But she was a former teacher, you know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it I don't know what caused the breakdown, but at least she was able to have a conversation and understand why I didn't want her to do that anymore, you know.
Mm, no, good.
Yeah. So and so um it's so much going on right now. So
Mm,
yesterday, good news, yesterday, they announced that 211 has 550 emergency vouchers, but the bad news is there's like 55,000 people still on the street, you know?
mm,
So
wow.
of course the news is not going to get to everyone, but
Right.
hopefully it will get to 550 people that's local here in our city. So
That'll
that's
still help.
yeah, but I had someone call, and you have to call and get it through 211. And so I had a couple of people call, and well, whether they stayed on the line the entire time or not, or whether they, just gave up. I don't know the outcome yet because I usually have people call me, let me
Mm,
know what happened so we
mm,
can get some improvement. But
mhm.
it seems to me that 211 needs to hire more people.
Yes, because they're kind of like the everything.
Right, right. Well, between the 211 and the 311 for the city,
Yeah,
well, 211 is the one that is suggested for homelessness issues. So I think
yeah,
when you put a call out like that to the general public on radio or the media, you definitely need to hire more people so people are not on hold for 3 hours, you know.
yeah.
And so when imagine a homeless person on the street, irritated, holding on the phone for 3 hours. I guess they have to find a place to charge their phone, and it just gets to the point where they probably are really
Yeah, that's
frustrated.
not gonna work.
Right,
Mm,
right. So
mhm,
hopefully there'll be some stamina there, and some people will be able to stay on the call and get an emergency voucher. That would be wonderful. And then hopefully they have everything that they need to get the apartment, like their ID or like, the things that they need to get a place. So you have all this red tape and these obstacles. And
mhm,
yeah, so we'll see what happens. We got a lady in 2 days ago at the place at the interim housing, and she had no clothes at all. I mean, she had what she wore, that was it. But she didn't have
mhm,
any other clothes. I don't know what happened to her clothes, but
mm.
somebody donated 6 bags of clothes to me today. So, oh God, just to see my car again. So, so I'm gonna take and shoes. And I think it looked like she dumped about 8 pair of shoes in there, and they look brand new. Tennis shoes. So I'm gonna take those to them this evening, and hopefully it's not raining too hard so I can put the clothes out, let them go through it, see what's what. But usually I kind of pick out
Oh boy.
what I think is good for who. I'm pretty good at measuring. I used to sew a lot, so I'm pretty good at identifying who wears what style, when, where, who. So I usually put them aside and let them take them like that, so everybody's not digging through the whole pile.
Good. That's
Yeah.
wise.
Yeah, because otherwise somebody will take 10 items while somebody will get one.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll see because I think these shoes are like size 9 or 10. So last time somebody donated about a dozen of 12s to me, I was able 5 people were able to get shoes.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I was like surprised. I said, "Oh, that's pretty good." Hmm. And so this time we'll see how many people actually wear 9 or 10, and just disperse these 8 pair, and see what happens. But yeah, it's 7:24 right now. Uh, I think, did we have any unfinished business from before I do not believe we did. It's an ongoing thing.
Yes,
Since it's-
homelessness is continuing.
exactly. But I do have more of the blankets.
Oh, that's what I was
So,
going to ask you.
and if you guys need any, let me know because it's gonna rain like I don't know what for the next 2-3 days.
Yes,
So have you seen anybody that you can identify that's actually
yes, that's
on the
wonderful.
sidewalk? Anybody?
I mean, well,
Have
I
you?
drive past, but I don't even drive that much anymore. So, I mean,
Uh-huh.
going from my house to West Angeles, I don't see any.
I know, I know. Well, if you see anybody that's
Okay,
out in the rain, let me know, and I'll just drop them off the blankets or something.
okay,
I've been giving them to community people so they could see and help out with the situation.
right.
And yeah, cause oof, I just can't even imagine.
I can ask my the community if I see some for sure.
Okay, yeah, let me know because I have the packages in the car, and it's 10 per pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, just hand them to them like on the freeway now. I'll just hand them one of those.
Okay.
And yeah, instead of asking, it's one guy on the freeway right there off the 10 when you're coming on Arlington. He's an artist or something. Speaking of that, Tom, you may need to double check with the guy right there on the 10 freeway at Arlington when you're headed.
Arlington.
Yeah,
Okay.
when you're headed west, taking that west off ramp, going toward Adams, he's right there, and I saw him with some paint and some boards one day.
Okay.
Yeah, check with him.
Do you,
That would be interesting.
do you know his name?
Oh God. And I asked him his name before too, a couple of times. Oh no,
Okay.
but he's a tall gentleman, and you know what? Make sure he is homeless because he may just go there every day. Who knows? But he looks clean, so I don't know. I asked him one day, did he need a place? And I told him Path was right there next door, and to check it out if he is. And so we'll see. I have to get out my car and have a conversation with him one day. It's just never convenient when you're getting on the off ramp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
if you want me to go with you, I will.
Okay. We're
Okay.
we're also trying to focus on people who are like success stories for
Right.
LASA and the other organizations that serve homeless.
Success stories as far as
Yeah.
what they've
Being
gotten their place.
housed. Being housed. Yeah.
Well, I got a couple of those too.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, just let me know. Yeah.
We'll do.
We got a real good one. He's actually an actor now. Well, he was then too, but just something happened. But he was able to get his place. It was one of the quickest I've seen when I think it was 2020, 21, early 2021, when the COVID. Remember, Garcetti had put everybody in the the
Yeah.
recreation centers. Well, at first, that was working really well. I thought that was
Mhm.
great because the staff was able to keep their job and serve a different purpose, right? And I was taking clothes and shoes and everything to one of the places that was assigned. Then next thing you know, we went and they had shut it down because of an elevation of COVID. But that would be ideal, the rec centers, because they have showers, they have restrooms, they have places to put the cots. It was just perfect. And so, but they had to open them back up eventually to the public. But I was able to meet matter of fact, Herb's office was the one that called me and asked me to help. I just happened to know the guy. And so we were able to get him in a hotel. When one of the pastors got him into this hotel, and we told him to go to Hopix early that morning and got him into a shelter that same day. He stayed there for about a week or two, and I was taking that shelter food. And so next thing you know, he got a duplex. I was like, oh, so he got one side of a duplex.
Wow.
Yeah, I said, oh,
Wow.
that's nice. And then somebody
That
donated
is
me.
very nice.
Yeah, and then somebody donated me some men's suits, and they fit him perfect. I was
Huh.
like, wow. And then I took the rest down to that church on Adams and West Side, where William Grant still is across. They have showers every Wednesday. So, and
Oh.
Miss Tori, you just went on mute.
so that, I mean, things just work out.
All
So,
right, guys, I gotta sign off. I gotta move on to another meeting.
well, we're right behind you. And we're gonna just reassign people as we go along, because things do
All right.
happen. Okay. Oh, let me look at the chat. Tom and Gramercy Apartments has several dozen success stories. Oh yeah, that's true too. Half the apartments occupied by formerly homeless seniors. I can put you in contact with the organization that built the apartments. Okay. I went over there to get some more applications for people, and I think they were almost full. So we'll see what happens there. That's the one we went to the open house, right, Laura? Hello?
Yeah, I'm on mute. Yes.
Oh, okay. Did Tom? Oh, Tom's not there. Oh, Tom's here. Okay.
I'm
Tom,
here.
did you hear about that? The Gramercy apartment?
Yes, I saw it in the chat.
Yeah. Let's see how that works. Those are people, yeah, should be success stories as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see how long they were homeless, or how they endured. Just surviving that alone is a success story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just couldn't imagine living on the street when it's raining and pouring and rats and so we got to be able to know that they are a success story within themselves if they actually lived on a street somewhere out in the elements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what I'll do is reschedule. Does anyone have anything else to talk about or mention, or something we're going to do to help this week or this month? And call me if you need any of these blankets. Kareem?
Oh, I don't have anything that I could think of.
Okay. Well, any little bit helps.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So just don't feel free. I mean, feel free to call me if you need any. If you think you see somebody, or just let me know where they are. Just text me.
Okay, very well. I'll do that.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting at 7:33. And anybody that we had scheduled, we will reschedule them for the March meeting in person, which will be more exciting.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yeah, so keep the 16th on your calendar, and we'll see you then.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay. Okay, Tom, keep us posted.
Thank
I'm gonna
you.
look at the website and look at the art, and we'll see how we can support your mission.
Thank you. I
Oh,
want to talk with, I don't know who to talk to, but part of our a project is to create a media campaign to raise awareness and also educate people here in Los Angeles on what they can do to help. And you, Ms. Tori, seem like such a tremendous resource when it comes to what we can do to help. Love to pick your brain about that.
You know what? I forgot to tell you guys. Annenberg, USC Annenberg media team came and interviewed me. I forgot to
Oh,
tell
they
you that.
did?
Yes, they called me out of the blue and said, "Can we come interview you? We have a show that's coming on tonight." I'm like, "Huh? Oh, where'd you get my name?" I said, "Sure." So they met me over at the church and we just walked through and I showed them where we did the count and on the patio and everything. And it was so quick. I had to send it to you guys so we could show it next time. It's just real brief. I mean, it's really brief because they didn't have a lot of time, but they said we'll do another one in the future.
Oh, fantastic. Yes.
Yeah. So that was part of the student project. So I forgot to tell you that good news.
Wow, I'd love to see that.
Great.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll send the link and well, actually when we go on site in March, we'll play it.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. It was so brief though, but it was so exciting still.
Right?
Oh, okay. Well, you guys have a wonderful evening and
Likewise.
stay dry.
Yes.
And thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to call Hugh and everybody and get them back on board in person.
All right.
Okay. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Night, Laura.
Goodbye.
I'll
I
see you
haven't
later.
ended it because I'm just saving things now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So you were able to do a transcript anyway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good night.
Okay, good night.